Suddenly a shop signboard is about to falls below, if so, it is going to hit a boy who is there just under it at that time.
But instead, it is floated in the air suddenly. The little boy joyfully called out for his mother. Actually, it was the spirit of Audrey, the mother of the boy, is the one who held up the massive object.
Although she couldn't touch any objects physically, she managed to do so at that critical moment when the boy was in danger. Later on, Oliver, who could see spirit, told his sister that it was their mother who saved them recently.
As they faced such unusual incident, the sister Eleanor too had to believe that their mother's spirit is with them all the times. However, on this very night, Audrey's body was gradually disappearing. But she wasn't ready yet to leave her young son behind, and unable to leave her son not to be with him anymore again.
She had become a spirit and was still accompanying him up till now. But time passed day by day. The boy Oliver too was growing up rapidly. Audrey watched as Oliver became more and more proactive in class, his grades kept improving and he was no longer a picky eater too. Audrey also needed to leave, but she was so reluctant to leave her son. One day, Audrey just entered the house, she saw Oliver and his sister had prepared a birthday party for her. But, in their father's eyes, the birthday girl wasn't even there, so, he was thinking all that, what was the point of doing all this?
But not to disappoint and to avoid crushing his son's hopes, he just pretended to celebrate with his children. Their father didn't believe the presence of their mother's spirit with them.
At the very moment when they blew out the candles all together, Audrey too, as a spirit, suddenly blew out the candle too.
As such happens, Neil, her husband too, now have believed his wife's spirit is there with them, present among them, and she is celebrating her birthday with her family. Although he couldn't see his wife whom he's longing for, they still gazed at each other with deep affection.
However, when an excited Audrey suddenly kissed him, Neil felt a chill, but he was overwhelmed and overjoyed. That night, the long-lost family chatted all night long, and it was such a happy moment they have since their mothers departed. However, later on, when Audrey came to the rooftop all alone, she knew, finally she is near to the end, it is about a time to go to her eternal home. But, until that day actually comes, Oliver fell down during school sports event, and just as everyone was rushing to help him, he stood up bravely and limped towards the finish line. At that time too, Audrey looks at Oliver reluctantly, knowing that her son had really grown up.
When they returned home, everyone was immersed in joy.
But, Oliver noticed that his mother was appearing and disappearing, her spirit used to fading repeatedly.
Just then, he quickly told his father what is happening to his mother's spirit, then instantly the atmosphere froze at that very moment.
Oliver said that his mother was about to leave them, then his father and his sister were very shocked and devastated by what they heard from him.
To enjoy their final moment together, they went to the beach where Audrey met her husband Neil for the very first time.
This was the beginning of their happiness and it was also where their happiness will end. Audrey left blessings to her husband and her daughter, one by one.
And then, she looked at her son whom she was most reluctant to leave.
Audrey opened her arms wide, thinking that she would never be able to hug her son again.
But this time, she surely hugged him physically at that very moment. As it is like that, she hugged him tightly, and she reluctant to let him off from her hugging.
But, as a beam of light shone down, Audrey gradually fly towards the sky for her heavenly realm where she will be abode for eternal. Leaving her husband, her daughter and her son who are longing for her presence, even if she is only as a spirit too. And thus, the scene came to an end. If reality were to end like this movie, it would be so beautiful and so pleasant to be able to turn into a spirit and to bid farewell, say goodbye to our dears and loved ones, our family properly. Rather than leaving silently, heartbreak and let them suffer for many days, months and years. If you like my channel, please subscribe. If you can, please like my video and share it too. Thank you.